What if I told you you've been lied to your entire life about exercise? Every doctor, every fitness magazine, every well-meaning family member, and modern longevity experts repeat the same message like a script. Walking is enough. That after 60, you don't need strength training. You don't need resistance. You just need steps. But here is what nobody wants you to know. A groundbreaking study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology found something that quietly changed how rehabilitation specialists approach exercise after 60. Researchers discovered that adults over 60 who performed specific isometric strength exercises showed significantly greater improvements in functional strength and stability compared to those who only walked. That is not a small difference. That is the difference between being able to lift your grandchildren and struggling to get out of a chair. The walking industry does not want you to know this. Shoe companies, fitness trackers, and treadmill manufacturers have built a billion-dollar empire on the idea that walking is the ultimate exercise for seniors. But orthopedic surgeons have known the truth for decades. Walking is wonderful for cardiovascular health, but it does almost nothing for the muscle loss that begins attacking your body after age 60. This condition is called sarcopenia, and it steals strength quietly, year after year. By the time you reach your 70s, a significant portion of muscle has already been lost. Walking cannot reverse this, but targeted resistance can. In controlled studies, the group that performed resistance-based movements gained muscle mass. The walking group lost it. And some of the most effective forms of resistance don't require weights or machines at all. They use your own body, controlled tension, and the wall for support. And the most incredible part, the number one exercise on this list, which we'll reveal at the end, has been shown to improve bone density in older adults. Before we begin, share with us in the comments your age and where you're watching us from. We read and reply to every single comment. Now, without any further ado, let's start with number 5. And this one will surprise you. Number 5, wall-assisted side leg lifts. Let us start with the exercise most people completely ignore, and that ignorance is quietly costing them their balance and independence. Wall-assisted side leg lifts might sound simple. You stand next to a wall and lift one leg slightly to the side. How hard can that be? But this movement targets the most underrated muscle group in your entire lower body. Your hip stabilizing muscles, specifically the gluteus medius and deep lateral hip fibers, are responsible for keeping your pelvis level and your body stable every time you stand, step, or shift your weight. And every time these muscles contract, they prevent your hips from collapsing and keep your body upright and controlled. Without strong hip stabilizers, your body loses its natural support system. This leads to instability, uneven walking, and a significantly higher risk of falls. A study published in the Journal of Gerontology Medical Sciences examined older adults with balance limitations. One group performed targeted hip strengthening exercises. The other relied on walking alone. After several weeks, the exercise group showed significantly improved balance control and stability. Walking does engage your hips, but not in the same concentrated way. When you walk, hundreds of muscles share the workload. When you perform wall-assisted side leg lifts, you isolate these critical stabilizing muscles and force them to work. To perform this exercise correctly, stand tall next to a wall and lightly place one hand on it for support. Lift your outside leg slowly to the side without leaning or tilting your hips. Hold that position for 2 full seconds while keeping your hips level, then slowly lower your foot back down. Start with 10 to 15 controlled repetitions on each side. Surgeons particularly love this exercise because almost anyone can do it safely, even with hip or knee issues. Perform this movement daily, and you may notice steadier balance and more confidence on your feet within just a few weeks. Now let us move to an exercise that targets a completely different problem. Number 4, wall hamstring press. This exercise attacks the muscle that determines whether you can climb stairs, get out of a car, or stand up from a toilet without assistance. Your hamstrings, the large muscles running along the back of your thighs, are the primary movers for all of these daily activities, and they deteriorate faster than almost any other muscle group as you age. Research published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research examined lower body muscle loss in older adults. The study followed participants over several months of targeted training. Those who did not perform targeted strengthening continued to lose muscle function. The group that performed targeted hamstring strengthening showed improvements in knee pain and functional strength. That is a life-changing difference from one simple controlled movement. Here is why walking fails to protect your hamstrings. When you walk on flat ground, your hamstrings barely activate. They engage slightly when you swing your leg forward, but they never work against meaningful resistance. Your body adapts to demands. If you never ask your hamstrings to work, they shrink. This wall-based hamstring exercise forces the muscles to lengthen and activate in a way walking never does. To perform this exercise correctly, lie flat on your back on the floor near a wall. Place one heel up on the wall and keep your other leg bent comfortably on the floor. Now gently slide your body closer to the wall until you feel a stretch along the back of your raised leg. Try to keep your leg as straight as possible, but only as far as feels comfortable. There should be no pain. Hold this position for 10 to 15 seconds, breathing slowly and allowing the muscle to relax. Then lower your leg, switch sides, and repeat. If lying on the floor is uncomfortable, place a mat, towel, or folded blanket underneath you for support. Orthopedic surgeons recommend this movement to patients over 60 because restoring hamstring function helps protect the knees and improves how force is absorbed through the leg during daily movement. Strong hamstrings act like shock absorbers, reducing stress on the joints with every step you take. Now, this next exercise will surprise you because it targets a muscle you probably forgot existed. Number 3, wall hip hinge hold. Your posterior chain muscles are the hidden controllers of your strength and stability. These muscles, primarily your hamstrings and glutes, control how you bend, stand, and absorb force. When these muscles weaken, your posture collapses and your movement becomes unstable. This is why so many seniors trip over seemingly nothing. A study published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity examined lower body strength and balance in adults over 60. Researchers found that posterior chain weakness was strongly associated with reduced stability and functional decline. These changes are not minor. Loss of strength in this pattern directly affects independence. The wall hip hinge hold directly strengthens the muscles you rely on to pick things up from the floor, stand back up safely, and move without losing balance. It trains your body to hinge the right way instead of bending forward and putting stress on your back. To perform this exercise, stand with your back against a wall and your feet a few inches in front of you. Keeping your legs mostly straight, slowly hinge forward from your hips. Let your arms hang naturally toward the floor while keeping your back long and straight. Only bend as far as feels comfortable. You should feel a stretch and tension along your hamstrings and glutes. As you hold this position, breathe slowly. Feel the gentle pull of gravity through your shoulders, the expansion in your back, and the tightness in your hamstrings gradually begin to loosen. Hold for 10 to 20 seconds, then slowly stand back up and repeat. Orthopedic surgeons often use this movement in rehabilitation because it rebuilds strength without placing stress on the joints. This exercise also improves your balance because it forces your core to stabilize your body while you hinge. Now, we are approaching the top 2 exercises, the ones orthopedic surgeons swear by for independent living and long-term mobility. Number 2, wall plank hold. Everything you do requires strength through your upper body and trunk. Opening doors, getting out of bed, carrying groceries, reaching overhead, and hugging your family all depend on it. All of these actions rely on a coordinated system of muscles, your abdominal muscles, deep spinal stabilizers, shoulders, and upper back, working together to keep your body upright and supported. When these muscles weaken, gravity starts winning. Your shoulders begin to round forward. Your upper body collapses inward instead of staying tall. This breakdown is not just cosmetic. It compresses your lungs, making breathing more difficult. It shifts your center of gravity forward, increasing your risk of falls. And it places constant strain on your neck, shoulders, and lower back, leading to chronic pain. Walking does almost nothing for these muscles. When you walk, your arms swing passively at your sides. There is no bracing, no resistance, and no demand for your body to stabilize itself. This is why so many dedicated walkers still develop poor posture and upper body weakness. They have never trained the muscles that hold them upright. A study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research examined isometric strength training in adults over 60. Researchers found that participants who performed static, full-body stabilization exercises showed improved posture, balance, and functional strength compared to those who relied on walking alone. The wall plank hold forces these muscles to work together continuously. It teaches your body how to brace, support itself, and stay aligned against gravity. To perform this exercise, stand facing a wall and place your forearms against it at shoulder height. Step your feet back slightly and keep your body in a straight line from head to heels. Tighten your stomach, squeeze your glutes, and hold this position without letting your hips sag or your shoulders collapse. Hold for 15 to 30 seconds, breathing steadily, then rest and repeat. Orthopedic surgeons often prescribe this exercise because it builds upper body and spinal support without placing stress on the joints. This brings us to the most important exercise of all, the one that surgeons are prescribing more than any other. Number 1, wall-supported single leg sit. If you only do one exercise for the rest of your life, this should be it. This is not just an exercise. It is one of the clearest tests of longevity. Researchers have consistently found that leg strength and balance are directly linked to independence as we age. This movement lights up your quads, glutes, calves, and core at the same time. No other wall exercise trains strength and balance this directly. It trains the exact strength you use every day, standing up from a chair, climbing stairs, stepping off a curb, and catching yourself when you lose balance. And because it is weight-bearing, it creates the kind of tension your muscles need to grow stronger, something walking alone rarely provides. Orthopedic surgeons have started prescribing this movement because it builds real strength without machines, weights, or joint strain. To perform this exercise, stand with your back against a wall and walk your feet slightly forward. Lower yourself into a squat as far as you comfortably can while staying in control. Shift most of your weight into one leg. Your other foot can stay lightly on the floor for balance support. Focus on squeezing your thigh and glute muscles as you hold. This mind-muscle connection is where the strength gains happen. Hold for 10 to 20 seconds, then stand back up slowly. Switch sides and repeat. As you get stronger, use less support from the non-working leg until you can briefly hold the position on one leg. Within a few weeks, many people notice stairs feel easier, legs feel stronger, and balance feels steadier. At the end, these 5 wall exercises represent what orthopedic surgeons wish every patient over 60 would train. Not just cardio, but strength, balance, and control. Walking has its place, no doubt about it. Cardiovascular health matters. But if you want to maintain independence, protect your joints, and stay steady on your feet, you need targeted resistance training. Start with just one exercise today. Practice it for a few days until it feels comfortable. Then add one new exercise per week, moving up the list at your own pace. You do not need to do all 5 at once. Perform each movement 2 to 3 times per week, resting a day between sessions. If you feel tired, reduce the hold time. Consistency matters more than intensity. If an exercise causes pain, stop immediately and choose a gentler variation. These movements should feel challenging, not sharp or painful. Within a few weeks, most people notice better balance, stronger legs, and more confidence during daily activities. Now, we want to hear from you. Which of these 5 wall exercises are you most excited to try first? Have you ever been told that walking is the only exercise you need after 60? Share your experiences in the comments. We read and reply to every comment. And if you enjoyed training at home using nothing but a wall, be sure to check out our latest video right here for more science-backed isometric exercises. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.